Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to be with all of you. And I'm going to close this something here. Got it. All right. My obeisances to all. Vanshakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnaveno namo namaha. Our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings, for his presence, and for his empowerment. I gave a class on Wednesday night in Russia, and it was a Srimad Bhagavatam class, and it was all about King Prithu, and they were talking about these like professional reciters were glorifying these beautiful prayers of King Prithu. And one of the things they talked about his humility. So when I gave my class, I spoke about empowerment. The whole class was talking about empowerment. And he always recognized as a king that whatever he did, whatever powers he had to rule, was because he was empowered by Krishna. And he was a Shakti Vaishavatar. But even as a Shakti Vaishavatar, he was so humble. And he knew that the kingdom is not mine, it belongs to Krishna. And that whatever service he was doing, what is a king's most important duty, would you say, in Vedic times? Any guesses?
Serve the people?
There may be many right answers. Yeah, that's a good answer. But what is the best way that he could serve the people for their benefit? What is the most important thing?
Protect them?
Protect them. The
God consciousness?
The answer I'm looking for is, actually Krishna says it in the Bhagavad Gita, and there's two different verses where Krishna explains. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani vaviti bharata bhutanam dharmasyam tadatmanam shajamyaham. Does that help anybody? By just hearing that, and Lakshman looks like he's getting ready to cheat. Him and Kalki are cheating. They're looking something up. Okay, the answer that I was going for, what Krishna said, that when I appear, I do two things. I reestablish dharma, and I bring pleasure to my devotees. So the most important duty of the king is to see the dharmas being upheld. Does that make sense? Because ultimately, the whole purpose in life is to go back to Godhead. It's not to make a nice... The hand is eerie looking. It's not like... it's not to provide comforts in this world. I mean, the king wants to make us comfortable, but ultimately, the real purpose of the king is the same as Krishna's, especially Shakti Vaishavatar, and that's to establish dharma. And then with dharma, then all your other answers come in. Protect the people and make sure that all their needs are met. And really powerful kings, if, for example, a child died before the parent, They go see the king. So that's not supposed to happen this way. Why? What is this irregularity? This, another word for irregularity is anomaly. So, anyway, I had fun talking about on that subject of empowerment. And I was also thinking how every living entity is empowered to do what they do. When we came out of the womb, of course, Francia is going to know more about this than any of us, but a child doesn't need lessons in breastfeeding. Or maybe they do, I don't know, but it seems like they know, they just kind of know, they just know what to do right off the bat. Mommy provides her breast like a cow, and the nutrients come, the child knows just how to do it. Some animals, by necessity, if say they're born in Africa, especially some of those born in Africa, like the deer and the giraffes and so on, they have to be able to walk right away. Otherwise, the hyenas will get them, or the tigers will get them. So it took a long, Francia, how long does it take to teach a baby how to walk?
Well, I hold back as long as I can, but it's usually about a year. Some do it before a year, but I like them to wait a year so that I have to keep chasing them. Get into mischief.
Yeah, but even the process when they start to get up, and it takes some time for them to get it all figured out, right?
Mm-hmm. Get the balance.
Months?
Yeah. They
I've
started.
never been around babies, so I don't know much about them. But yeah, but Krishna will give when needed. He'll empower an animal to know how to literally get up and go and follow the herd. There's just a few moments when they come out. We've all probably seen this on the nature channels. Has everybody seen this on the nature channels?
Yeah.
Like a giraffe is born, or so many animals, they get up right away, and they start walking, and that's empowered. Krishna's just giving that empowerment. Even bugs, as soon as they're, even a worm, they right off the bat, they know how to wiggle, how to move by wiggling. And there's so many instincts they're empowered with. Like beavers, they could make these amazing dams that even the engineers, they can't figure out, how they're able to do this. If you're not an engineer, you try to make a dam that's going to dam up the stream. I don't know why they do that. I have to look that up. Why do they make dams? For some reason, they'll dam off a stream. And that's not easy. And they don't go to engineering school. They just know right away how to do it. Or a spider. I don't think a spider is ever trained how to make a web. But if you look at webs, they're like, it looks like you went to some special college to learn how to do it, right? But Krishna empowers them. They can do all kinds of cool things. Or birds that fly long distances. I don't know if I spoke about that in one of my classes recently. In Hawaii, we have a bird called the kolea bird. It's a golden plover, Pacific golden plover. So they're born in Alaska. That's where they're born. So they spend the summers in Alaska, but then they come to Hawaii for the winter. And these birds, it's a one flight. They don't stop. There's no resting. There's no rest stop. Seabirds, they can stop and just, land right in the water and rest. But they fly like 2,000 miles in one flight. Now listen to this part of it. The parents take care of the baby to a certain point. Then the parents leave. They fly to Hawaii. They leave the babies behind to finish up eating, and because they have to eat a lot for that flight. Parents are gone, and the babies go on their own. How the heck do they know how to get here? The scientists are like, has something to do with a magnetic something in their brain, and it's crazy. It's somebody answer. Padmalochan, how do you think they know how to get here? Simple answer. Who's giving him directions? Krishna, right in their heart. Krishna's giving that direction. He's empowering them. And to fly. Krishna empowers birds to fly. Krishna empowers fish to swim. Krishna empowers beetles to be able to dig down a hole, or amazing empowerment. Anyway, I had fun speaking about that, empowerment. Every living entity is empowered. How does a grass or a flower know to turn to follow the sun? Anyone ever notice how the flowers, though plants, they know how to get to the sun? I mean, if you had a plant body, would you know what to do? How to make the stem move? No muscles, no tendons, no eyes, but they are able to do all these amazing things. Krishna just empowers them. People, they try to think, well, my body, I'm operating my body. There's so many things going on in our body, we don't have a clue how they're working. Just like our eyes blinking, we don't even know it's blinking. When I'm thinking about it, but the eyes blinking, the heart's beating. Is that amazing? It beats like hundreds of thousands of times in a day. Yes. Lakshman Prabhu?
Yeah, I was looking this up today, and it goes right with what you were just saying, like gravity and time. Like scientists don't know, they don't know what is the cause of gravity and time. They can predict it, but there's no scientific, they can't prove who is controlling gravity and time. And I just remember reading that today, and it kind of follows this same line of thinking.
It's so predictable that we know on any given date exactly where the sun will be at any given moment. And there's a verse which describes that in the Brahma Samhita. Yachchaksha esha savitas lakala grihanam rajas samasta suramurti ratesha teja yes yagya brahmita sambrita kala chakra govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Krishna's Lord, this is actually Lord Brahma speaking. He's saying Yachchakshur esha savila sakala grihanam. That means of all the planets, Yet chaksha esha, the eye, chakshu, eye, chaksha, the eye, the sun is considered like the eye. Rajas samasta suramurtira sheshateja. Rajas samasta, it's the king. It's considered the king of all the planets. And then the third line is really cool. It says, Yes yagyagya brahmita sambrita kala chakra. Agyaya means, agyaya means under order, being ordered. Yes yagyagya brahmita sambrita kala chakra. That kala chakra, through the chakra, there's a wheel. And Agyaya, under the order of Krishna, that sun is very obediently following the wheel of chakra. Kala chakra, and time, the wheel of time. That's its duty. And how does it do it? How does the sun do that?
Empowerment.
It's empowered by Krishna. In fact, there's a great, many of us have read in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam, when Krishna, after Krishna enlightened Lord Brahma, he said, now I have some service for you. I want you to create all the variegatedness in the material world. Krishna gave him all the building blocks, but that's it. It's like, how many people have seen where houses being built, and the lumber company, they drop off all this lumber and all kinds of material, right? Then the contractors come in, they take that, and they build this amazing house. So Krishna is like that. Krishna gave him all the stuff. And the contractors, to be able to do it, they really have to know their stuff. Many of them have gone to school for it, or others are just on the job learning. Since they were little kids, they were helping daddy, and they become contractors. And to be a contractor, you got to pass all kinds of tests, right? To get your license. So, but Lord Brahma, he created everything. He created goats. I mean, suppose you're going to build a goat or a dragonfly or a mountain. He created all the bodies. He didn't create the souls, but he made the bodies, and he did everything. All the plants. He designed spiders. He designed snakes with, venom. I mean, how could you make a snake? Anybody here know how to build a snake? So Brahma said, okay, I'll do this. Krishna said, I'll empower you. But Brahma asked for one benediction. What was that? Brahma asked for a benediction before he did it. He knew he was going to be empowered, but there's one thing he wanted Krishna to help him out with. Don't let me think I'm the doer. Let me never forget that I'm doing all this out of your empowerment. Anybody ever watched somebody on stage performing? I'm sure we all have, right? Francia, what do you like on stage, that you see on stage? What kind of performers do you like? What have you seen? What's like your favorite? For me,
I like musicals. You mean shows?
Anything on stage.
Yeah, I like musicals, especially Diamond Head here on Hawaii is very good.
So they're all that singers, right?
Yeah.
So these singers, they think they're singing, they have a clue that they can't do anything. They're just empowered by Krishna to sing. Otherwise, Krishna turns off the, turns off the lights. It's over. But they're all so much under that illusion. The musicians, they're like thinking, the singers, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I have such control of my vocal cords and my breathing, and so Brahma wanted to make sure he didn't get carried away. Sometimes you see these like rock stars, they're up there and they're so convinced, I'm so talented, I'm like a god. That's how they actually feel like it. That's why we came to the material world, to feel like a god. And it almost looks like a god. Like, remember Jimi Hendrix, for example? I mean, he was like, unbelievable. Right? The music that he was unbelievable. And oh yeah, then he had an album with a universal form of Krishna with his head in the center. How many people remember that? Francia, no?
No, I wasn't into him.
Okay. But you know who he was, yeah?
Oh yeah, from
Very
Seattle.
talented. Like Michael Jackson. I mean, you can't deny the guy was really talented, right? When he would do that, what's it called, a moonwalk or something, where he's walking forward but he's moving backwards. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? He's walking, but he's going backwards. It's some like amazing thing he did. I think other people figured out how to do it, but maybe he's the first one that figured it out. But they think they're so creative. Anyway, how to get on the subject?
You're talking in Russia.
Lakshman's good. Lakshman's good. He took us right back to the beginning. I'm impressed. Yeah, I was talking about King Prithu, that he took us right back to the answer. Thank you. Yeah, King Prithu, he was such a great king because he realized that this is Krishna's kingdom. It's all Krishna's. Nothing is the kingdom's not mine. All my servants are not mine. Everything is Krishna's. And he felt empowered. So anyway, so we only have one question today. Where are all the questions? We have one question from Lakshman, unless I missed something. Did anybody send a question that I missed? Pamaloshan usually sneaks one in there towards the end, a little one sentence. But good question, but like it's a one sentence thing. Okay, so we can address. Lakshman Prabhu, you want to read your question? I have it here if you don't.
Sure, Gurudev. I've been reflecting on how we realize our eternal service and relationship to the Lord through the holy name and sound vibration. I have contemplated how sound shows up elsewhere, like the Guru's words, Prabhupada's words, kirtan, hearing the classes. I think reading of Prabhupada's books is also a type of transcendental sound. That's a question, but I'm not sure. My question is to better appreciate how realization comes through sound vibration. And I think this was inspired, just to add a tiny bit of context, this was inspired a couple weeks ago when we were talking about inspiration. And it kind of just got me thinking about hearing and sound. And then I kind of went to this line of thought today.
Okay. We said a lot, so I'm not sure where to start. Well, first of all, sound is, I think even the Bible talks about sound, that the whole material creation was created by sound. Krishna spoke, and everything was created. So its sound was all through, it came about because of creation. And therefore we take transcendental sound, and that takes us out of here. It's the same, we take the same vehicle that created the place, we can take it apart with sound, spiritual sound. And in the Kali Yuga, how did Krishna choose to come?
As Lord Chaitanya?
Yes, but I want to go back to Krishna himself. Lord Chaitanya came to teach us what came originally. In the age of Kali, Krishna comes as a holy name. And Lord Chaitanya came and taught us how to embrace that and the importance of it. Lord Chaitanya did not preach to regular people. Who did Lord Chaitanya preach to? Pretty much just the great scholars, the Mayavadi scholars, to defeat them. In fact, he was just, when the Mayavadi philosophers, they heard about Lord Chaitanya, and they were thinking, who is this guy? He's just dancing and singing, and that's not what sannyasis do. Sannyasis sit down and study the Vedas, and they debate and so on. So they want to know what's a sannyasi up to. He's given sannyasis a bad name. So Lord Chaitanya agreed to go and speak with them. And he was very humble. He sat down where they washed the feet. He said, come up. No, Lord Chaitanya is very humble. He just stayed right where they washed the feet. Now, of course, it didn't hurt by the fact that he was like, thousands of suns. He was so brilliant. He was kind of like blowing their mind just by his look. But I think he still kept them, to not realize he was God at that point. And they said, why are you just chanting and dancing? Why aren't you studying the Vedas? And Lord Chaitanya said, what did Lord Chaitanya say? Anybody know? He said, my guru said I'm just a fool. My guru instructed me to just chant and dance. Chant the holy name. Just chant the holy name. So they're looking at him. He's brilliant like, thousands of suns. And then he did talk philosophy, completely defeated them. But the average person, he just prescribed just chanting and dancing. That's primarily chanting, kirtan, hearing the sound of the holy name. That's all they really need. And therefore, the kirtan parties would go all throughout Navadvip and so on and chant. There's beautiful prayers that Krishna Varnam Tvaya Krishnam Sango Pankasha Parshadam Jagyai Sankirtana Prayaya Jantihi Sumedasha. It's describing Krishna Varnam, Tvasha, Krishna. Varna means syllables. He was just simply chanting the holy name. Krishna Varna Tata Krishnam. Akrishnam. Jagyai Sankirtana Prayaya Jantihi Sumedasha. Those who were Sumedasha, those who have good intelligence, will chant the holy name as Lord Chaitanya instructed. So, Lakshmana Prabhu, the hearing is what created the world and what will undo it. And that's a functional thing. But the holy name of Krishna is Krishna himself directly. When we're chanting, Krishna is dancing on our tongue. And everything is there in the holy name. Everything is in that sound vibration. Everything. Can you imagine? No, it's impossible to imagine. All of Krishna's pastimes, everything's spiritual world, everything is contained in the holy name. We'd have to be insane not to partake. So it's the Yuga Dharma. It's the Kalikala Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtan. It's stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the Dharma in this age is chanting the holy name. Now, something in your question. I've been reflecting on how we realize our eternal service and relationship with the Lord through the holy name and sound vibration. How we realize it is, remember, this is not an ascending process, this is a descending process. Can you explain the difference between ascending and descending?
To my understanding, Gurudev, ascending would be a personal effort and descending would be Krishna's mercy.
Correct. So we chant the holy name. You're saying, how do we realize? We can't force to realize. We follow the order of Guru, and all the gurus in the sage or chant the holy name. Then don't try to realize Krishna. Krishna will reveal himself to you. You can't do it. You can't make it happen. But of course, Krishna keeps his word. Just like you work at the university for many years, right? And they pay you, yeah? Now, you don't know for sure if they're going to pay you, but you trust them, and they pay you. But if they decided not to pay you, there's not much you could do about it. I mean, you could get an attorney, this, that, and the other. But it works out nicely because they're trustworthy. So Krishna says, we chant the holy name, Krishna will reveal himself. We can't force him. We know the quote from Bhakti Siddhanta. Don't try to see Krishna. Act in such a way that Krishna wants to see you. So we can't force, just like you can practice becoming a musician, and if you have some decent karma, you can become a good musician by practicing. This is ascending. But to realize Krishna, it's the mercy of Krishna and Guru. Krishna reveals himself. Just like, for example, Narada Muni was in meditation one time. I believe it was a life before he became Narada Muni. But he was meditating and meditating and meditating upon Krishna. Meditating and nothing. I mean, just meditating. Just like we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. And then all of a sudden, boom! Krishna reveals himself. He's right there. Narada didn't do anything to make it turn on. Krishna just appeared. And he spoke to Narada. I mean, Narada was, he was ecstatic, beyond ecstatic. And Krishna said, Narada, or I don't think it was Narada at that point. He said, you're doing great. I'm really proud of you. You won't see me again in this lifetime, but I just wanted to give you some insurance you're on the right track. And then he disappeared. He couldn't make him appear or make him disappear. So that's important to understand, is that now one thing that we can realize, and that is our realizations, our detachment from the world, and realizing, like when we're serving our deities, when we're realizing, and when you first walk in the door, you're not going to have those same feelings for the deities. But they start to realize, you start to change, you become a different person. Padmalochan, sometimes she tells us about how when she became a devotee, how much she changed. Her interests changed. Shopping changed. Right? So it's okay if I use that in my classes?
Yes, good.
I mean, she's a woman. She's a very beautiful woman, and, she likes being pretty. I mean, that's what you do. I mean, if I were a lady, I'd want to look pretty too. But, wear nice clothes and so on. But she said as soon as she took to Krishna consciousness, she lost the attraction for it. Like, I don't care about that. So we know that. That's the proof. That's proof that the process is working. So detachment is one of the symptoms of advancing in spiritual life. We become very detached from the way we were detached to this world before. And if you're not feeling that detachment, then you're doing something wrong. And especially detached in our mind and our heart. When people say unkind things, we don't care, because it's got nothing to do with who we are. If you're walking down the street and one person's insulting another person, do you really care? Does that bother you? One person insults another. We don't care. We just keep on walking. If anything, we feel sorry for the two people, but we don't feel offended. He insulted someone else. He didn't insult me. So if somebody insults us, it isn't us. Because we're not really Lakshman and Kalki. Or Padmalochan and Francia. Francia looks like she's really in ecstasy. She's very relaxed. So yeah, and Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. Pratyaksha means that we have actual realizations. That verse, Raja Vidya Raja Guyam Pavidram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavgamam Dharmyam, by direct perception and realization. Pratyaksha and Avagamam. Direct perception and realization. We're having realizations. I'd have left long ago if I wasn't getting these reassurances all along the way. And they haven't stopped. I keep getting more, I feel like I couldn't be any more convinced, but I become even more convinced. And then more after that, and more after that. And just like the gopis' love for Krishna, there's no limit to how much the gopis love Krishna. He's their life and soul. But somehow the next day they love him more, which is impossible. How could unlimited, something that's already unlimited, increase? But it does. Yes, Lakshman Prabhu.
Gurudev, I was just, when we were speaking there, I was just noticing how, we say that, one of the symptoms is more detachment. But then also with that more detachment, there's more convinced.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of an interesting, we don't see that in a material experience. Usually it's more attachment would create more convincing. But here we're saying more detachment. We feel more convinced.
Yes, in that sense, yes. Now, but we're not just becoming detached, we're also simultaneously becoming attached to Krishna. Because you can't remain without attachments. That's not the nature of the soul. The cowherd boys are really attached to going out for the day with Krishna again. Very attached. They'd be really disappointed if Krishna wasn't coming out to play. And they're thinking about Krishna the whole time. They go home and think about Krishna. The mom's singing about, everybody's singing about Krishna. So attachment's normal. If you just try to take attachments away from and just live in a cave, it's going to be pretty flat.
I'm kind of glad you're saying that, because I was sitting here thinking, anytime I see a beautiful thing, or I'd have a swim in my pool, or I make French toast and I enjoy it, I thank God that I'm so awake and aware that God has given these gifts to me. That
Great realization.
Yeah, I can't say that. I mean, I know that nothing lasts, but at the moment, I'm just thrilled that I've got the eyes and the awareness to thank God for what He's given me.
That lasts. The realization of God lasts and becomes even more stronger.
Yeah, that for sure. But to say I'm detached that didn't ring true to me. I was glad you went on about it.
Yeah, yeah. Explain your realization. What was it exactly that I said that you understood?
That we can't live without attachments, that our senses give us gifts, and to say, oh no, I don't want it, I don't want to see it, it's a taste of heaven in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Our senses want to be pleased. So we do it in such a way that our senses, we're using our eyes to see the deities, we're using our eyes to come and see the devotees, we're using our ears to hear spiritual sound vibration.
Yeah.
We're using our hands to cook for Krishna and worship, and we're using all of our senses in Krishna service. And we're attached. We're attached to the friendships that we've all built. Devotional friendship, devotional love.
And we're grateful.
We're grateful. We're very grateful.
Yeah.
We're very grateful. we still have a few minutes left. Any other questions or Lakshman Prabhu?
Well, I had one
Go
about
ahead.
Nepal.
All right, go ahead. We'll let you go first, Franz. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question about Nepal and
I went and read that. I read that this morning.
and I was wondering, did Prabhupada come from that thinking and culture that foreigners were not to be had in the temples and
Okay. For one thing, the temple that, by the way, okay, what she's referring to. How many people have read Journey Home? Papanlochan, have you read Journey Home?
No, Gurudev.
It's a great, really fun book to read about Radhanath Swami, how he became a devotee in his a trip to the East. He's from, I think, Chicago or. So anyway, so in the prologue of the book, which means like the little story at the beginning before the book even starts, he's talking about how he went to Nepal. It's like maybe his first stop, and he went to Nepal and he went to a temple. Now he didn't know the difference between Krishna, Shiva, this one, that one. He didn't know much, and so he ended up going to. And I don't know where exactly it was in Nepal. And this was
1971.
71, okay. Yeah, he ended up going to a Shiva temple. They're Shivites. And apparently foreigners weren't allowed to come. And I think by foreigners, they meant non-Hindu. I think that's probably what they meant.
Yeah.
Non-Hindu, not because people from the West, rightfully so, they were really degraded. They were, and many of them believe that because they're not coming from a Brahmin family, that they don't have a chance. They're disqualified. Like, for example, if you're having a very fancy party and a bunch of dogs come to your door, you're not going to let them in. They're just dogs, right? You go away. They're just a disturbance. They smell, So I think it was more in that way. Now, again, it was not a Krishna temple. It was a Shiva temple, and Shivites are pretty hardcore people. Now, I would imagine that's changed now. It probably changed a long time ago, but I can't say for sure. But I would imagine, and also that many of the temples, in order to get money, they like the tourists coming now because they bring a lot of money. And where Americans weren't appreciated maybe in the very beginning, whoa, what it's done, just like in Vietnam. We were like enemies at one point, right? We did horrible things in Vietnam. But they found, the Americans, but they're actually nice people. And we like them coming because they added a tremendous amount to tourism. Now it's becoming a big, huge part of their industry in Vietnam is tourism. So things change over the years. Now I know there's one temple in India that Prabhupada really made Prabhupada angry, which he never liked. It's the Jagannath Temple in Orissa, in Jagannath Puri. Westerners they're not allowed in. Now, Papanlochan, she could get in because I don't know. Are people easily? Can they always tell a Nepali versus an Indian?
What's that, Gurudev?
In Jagannath Puri, white people can't go there. They can't go into the Jagannath temple.
Mhm.
Only Hindus. Now, of course, I don't think they would object to a Hindu from Nepal because she's born in a Hindu family, and they pretty much look the same, right?
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Nepalis look just like Indians, right?
Yes,
So that she could go right in, no problem.
I can.
But us white guys, with our white skin, they don't let you in, and Prabhupada really didn't like it. So the main deity there is Jagannath. What does Jagannath mean? 2 words. Jagannath. What are those 2 words?
Lord of the universe.
Lord of the universe. Jagat is the universe. Like sometimes they'll call Prabhupada Jagat Guru, Guru of the universe. So, and Natha means Lord, Lord of the universe. He's for everybody. So Prabhupada said, you should change the name of your deities from Jagannath to Orissanath. Only for those who are from Orissa. Anyway, he said like that. I don't know if he told them that but he said that they should call their deity Orissanath, Lord of Orissa. But that hasn't changed. And to this very day, you can't go. Now, some people, black-bodied people, they look enough they can kind of fake it, and so on. They got to be careful not to open their mouth. But Pabalocha, you speak fluent Hindi, right?
Yes, Gurudev.
Yeah. So I mean, for her, no problem, but not us.
I don't have like a Hindi accent, but I can speak.
Right. You can speak and understand.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so cool knowing more than one language. So she knows 3 languages. Yeah.
Yes, good.
Hindi, Nepali, and English. That's amazing. It mystifies me. Of course, Krishna can speak to animals. He knows the language of the animals. It's wonderful. So that does go on. And I don't know about other places. I know that the main temples that we want to go to are open to Westerners in India. But there's one, and there may be others, I don't know. Somebody who's much more familiar with India could answer that. But I know that when I've gone on and been with the devotees in India, tour leaders that take us to all the famous temples, we can go into all of them. And they like us coming. But not the Jagannath temple. They're just holding on to this old thing of that Westerners cannot be, are not fit candidates. They're like a dog.
Well, didn't Prabhupada think that we were pretty doggy when he first came to this country?
Yes and no. He knew that everyone is a pure devotee of Krishna. And it doesn't matter what their birth is. But Prabhupada was asked by his guru to go everywhere. And Lord Chaitanya said, Patra patra vitra nahi nahi stana stan, jai janha poitana kori premadan. Lord Chaitanya said, don't consider who's a fit candidate and a non-fit candidate. Anyone who chants the holy name of Krishna, regardless of their birth, regardless of their past, they can get a fresh start right now. Just start chanting the holy name, give up your sinful activities, and everyone can come. There's just many, many verses. Very powerful verses. And Prabhupada's godbrothers didn't even they probably knew the Sanskrit, but they didn't, in their hearts, they didn't accept that Westerners could really become devotees. And when Prabhupada first came, are you reading, are you reading the, I can't remember, the Prabhupada Lilamrita? Okay, we need to talk about that. That you'd love. But read what you're reading now. Read the Journey Home. You're going to love that. You're not going to want. Trust me. After you get started a little bit, you're not going to be able to put it down. It's adventure after adventure after adventure, and it's amazing, the stories. You won't believe what the experiences he had on his trip to India. You're going to love it. So there's a whole story about Prabhupada. From his childhood all the way up to when he left the world. It's a series of books. It's really easy to read. My mother read it. She loved it. So we'll talk about that. And so Prabhupada's godbrothers didn't even really, when Prabhupada came and he brought Westerners, they wouldn't even eat the food that we cooked. They wouldn't eat it. We were Westerners. We're like dogs. So, and people, they were amazed. I forgot, Prabhupada called them, or it's mentioned, the dancing white elephants. When the devotee Prabhupada was so proud, the dancing white elephants. So some people thought, this is insane. This is not, this is bogus. But gradually they learned we're the real deal when they saw how devotees were advancing, learning Sanskrit and quoting Shastra and shlokas, and how it was spreading, reading Bhagavad Gita, listening to the Bhagavatam. They finally accepted. But even Prabhupada's godbrothers didn't. Of course, Bhakti Siddhanta, Prabhupada's guru, he knew, please go to the Western world. You know English, go to the Western world. In his English.
Gabala and Sakhira.
Hare Krishna. Listen, I'm just finishing up a sangha, so I'll call you right back. We're just winding up. Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's come back to me here. Let's Gopal and Sukara. Everybody know who Gopal and Sukara are? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Gopal.
Yeah, Gopal and Sukara is a very sweet, pretty wife.
Yes.
Yeah, they are flying to LA for Rath Yatra. Even Parampara. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll love the Rath Yatra. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna meet Govinda Maharaj over there too.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, he'll be there. That's wonderful. Yeah, go see Govinda. He's a wonderful devotee. Very, very dear friend of mine. Okay, I think we're at the end of our line. Thank you all very much. I'm gonna take this call, Francie, and then I'll call you.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Francie has a birthday coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Big one.
Soul's eternal.
That's right.
Our age never really changes, so we're all eternal. And the more we embrace spiritual life, the more youthful we become. So I'm going to call Gopal and see what he's got, and then Francie, I'm going to give you a call.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anybody can join us tomorrow. We'll be at it again tomorrow. Hey, Bo.
I do.